Hi guys, happy Sunday. It is the 24th of May and it is about 7:30 at night, and I thought I would come to you with the opening clip for this vlog along with talking about the first book that I finished this week so far. So I'm kind of sitting here outside, as you can see. My mom's lilac bush is right here behind me. I can't really lean back or else it's going to poke me in the head. But I thought I would get a nice pretty outside clip because it's beautiful out today. So today I finished a book, as I said. I finished reading The Duchess Deal by Tessa. It is the first book in the, oh my goodness, I cannot remember the name of the series. I'll try and put it right down here. Girl Meets Duke, I think it's called. So anyway, this story was absolutely delightful. It is about a woman by the name of Emma, and she is a seamstress by trade. She is the daughter of a vicar, and her father, years earlier, kicked her out for a discretion, something that happened. I'm not going to divulge what it is. And in the opening of this book, it is so delightful. She comes out, she shows up at the Duke's house, estate, wearing this wedding dress that she sewed for the Duke's intended bride. And due to he was in the war, I think, and he suffered a major accident that scarred up like half of his body, like from fire. And this woman refused to marry him. So anyway, she shows up demanding payment for this gown that she went ahead and made, and the girl called off the wedding. So he needed a bride. So he's like, well, you're of childbearing age and you're pretty, and hey, let's get married. So that's pretty much the plot of the story. It's a kind of a marriage of convenience in a way, that he is just looking for someone to bear him an heir. That's all he's looking for. This story was so fantastic. The banter between Emma and Ashton is his name, was so well done. I loved it so much. And one of the other characters I adored was, I think his name is Con, and he is Ash's butler, and he is so droll and so witty and so like that very dry sense of humor, I can just totally picture him. This character. He was an absolute delight. And guys, I gave this book 5 stars. This is my first 5-star book in a little while, so that's super fantastic. I hope you guys can hear all the birds and all the nature out here. It's crazy. In the city, all we ever heard were vehicles because we were right beside the highway. But yeah, it's a beautiful breeze out. It's a lovely day. But yeah, so I finished that one today, and I really liked it. If you have not read this one by Tessa, I highly recommend it. It's my new favorite by her, hands down. So yeah, anyway, that's all I got for today, you guys. I'm hoping to finish my Nancy Drew tonight, but I may not check back in tonight, but I'll let you guys know about that one tomorrow. And I think there might even be a storm blowing in. I don't know. I'm gonna go before I'm swept away to Kansas. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi guys, it is still Sunday night, and now it is about 8:45 at night, and it's still nice and sunny, sort of. But anyway, I'm coming to you with another update, I guess. I just finished the Nancy Drew book. It was called, oh my gosh, Double Something or Other. Oh, I'm already drawing a blank, and I just finished it. The book cover, of course, will be right up here beside me. But I ended up giving it 3.5 stars, which is pretty much standard, as I always say about the Nancy Drew books and stuff like that. It was interesting. It had to do with tennis and a international ring of terrorists and a small southern South American country. And Nancy Drew had a woman who looked like her exact double, and Nancy was kidnapped, and blah blah blah, and all the things, and it was crazy. So yeah, but I did enjoy it, and it was fun. So I don't really have much more to say on it. It was a standard, every chapter kind of ends in a cliffhanger kind of an idea, and Nancy and her friends are always in peril. But all the books that I seem to be reading lately all have to deal with Nancy, Bess, and George. Like, Nancy's always the one who's like, oh, she's the teen detective, but yet Bess and George are always with her for like every single case. So it's kind of crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna head inside. I apologize if it's loud, but everybody's outside enjoying themselves. Look how pretty it looks with all the trees. I absolutely love it. I do love the city. I am a city girl, but I do love the suburbs as well. They have their own perks, and the wildlife is one of those perks. Talk to you guys tomorrow. So a very quick extra little clip. I just wanted to show you guys the very pretty sunset. This is out of our bedroom window. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. I'm not a fan of summer because I don't like the heat, but this year it will be bearable because we're at a house that has air conditioning. But yeah, so just wanted to share that with you guys. And one more quick little clip for those of you who want to see the cats. Mr. Gorin slobbed out on our bed like he's king. Show us pretty. Hey, there's my guy. Oh, and we just had someone else join us. Bernard. Hi, Bean. Okay, he wants treats. I will give the king his treats. Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday. It is the 27th of May, and it is about 9:15 at night. And I am finally coming to you with an update, a reading update for a book that I just finished today. So I'm trying to only pop on here when I actually get books done, so that way the vlogs end up being a little bit shorter than they had been before. It's been pretty uneventful week so far this week. I think the last time I talked to you guys was Sunday, so it took me a few days to finish this book, and then plus I've got another one. I'm currently also reading Head Over Paws by Debbie Burns, the 5th book in the Rescue Me series, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm just not picking up my e-reader for some. I think because I'm organizing my books in here, and that's kind of what's been taking all of my attention lately, so over the last few days. So I have to try and balance that out a little bit better, because fingers crossed I might be going back to work soon. So you'll probably get an update. You'll probably already hear about that on my Friday reads before you hear me say anything here. So anyway, today I finished reading Family for Beginners by Sarah Morgan. I listened to this one on audio. It did come out at the beginning of the month, and I had this one from NetGalley, so thank you very much to the publisher and to NetGalley for sending me an e-arc of this one to read. And as I said, I read it on audio, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really like this one, you guys. Oh my gosh. At first I was hesitant. I wasn't absolutely certain for about the first quarter of the book. I wasn't absolutely sure I was going to really like this one. So the premise of this story, there's kind of a lot that's going on, and I don't want to give too much away, but the basic premise of this story is about a man by the name of Jack, and he was married to a woman by the name of Becca. And they had 2 girls, Izzy and Molly, and Izzy is, I think, 16 or 17 years old, and Molly's about 8, so there's quite an age gap between the daughters. And Becca was best friends with a woman named Claire, who lives in England. So Becca was born and raised in England, and then she moved to New York to become a dancer. Met her husband, got married, that part. So anyway, a year before the beginning of the book, Becca died unexpectedly of an aneurysm. And so Jack is now a widower, and he meets a woman by the name of Flora. And him and Flora really hit it off, and his daughter, his older daughter especially, Izzy, has major issues with Flora, and tries to essentially get her out of the family, and telling her she doesn't belong and all these things. And then the family, as a group, Jack and the girls, and Flora's invited to go with them, end up going to spend 3 weeks at the friend Claire's summer lodge in England, and stuff all starts to come to a head, secrets are revealed, things like that. I don't want to say too much more than that. My issue at the beginning of this is that I really didn't like Izzy. I mean, I know her mother passed a year earlier, and I 100% was giving her the benefit of the doubt with a lot of things, because I can imagine how hard that would have been at that age. But the thing was, I think it went a little overboard, and a lot of the things were said in front of her father, and her father never stepped up and said, you know what, tone it down a little bit, be a little bit more reasonable, kind of an idea. And but once you start to learn why Izzy is acting the way she's acting at the end of the book, it suddenly becomes clear, and you're like, okay, so yeah, it was really good. If you want a good women's fiction novel, I highly recommend it. This does have a romance in it, of course, but anything adult happens behind closed doors. There is a bit of swearing in this book, but it was really delightful. The only criticism I have for the book, and it's not even for the book itself, it's for the narration, is that this is a 400-page book, but yet it comes in at just over 13 hours on audio. So the narration of this one is very, very slow. So do keep that in mind. My typical narration when I listen to an audiobook, I can usually go to about 2 times speed. I was actually able to kick this one up to 2.5 times speed because that's how slow the narration was. Like in retrospect, the book that I started today on audio, Deep in the Alaskan Woods by Harper, is the same page count but comes in at just under 10 hours for the narration speed. So like for the time of the audiobook. So it just goes to show how slow the narration is. So don't be intimidated by the length of the audiobook. Just know that it's very slow narration. So do keep that in mind. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for right now. I'm hoping to be back tomorrow with my review for Head Over Paws, because is it Head Over Paws? I think it's Head Over Paws. With that book, because I really need to get that one done tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be a reading day. I do have a lot going on tomorrow, which hopefully I'll talk about tomorrow evening, but I'll talk to you guys then. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Happy Friday. It is the 29th of May, and it's about 1:45 in the afternoon. So I am here to share with you another reading update, not really a reading update, but a book review. And I finished this book yesterday, and I finished it in the afternoon yesterday, and I had absolutely planned on sitting down and sharing with you guys my thoughts on the book yesterday afternoon, but I was still angry at the book, and I did not want to come off being too mean about the book, so I wanted to let myself kind of sit on it for a day. So here I am. I also just filmed my Friday reads, so you guys will have already seen that, and I'm currently editing my book haul that went up on Saturday. So yeah, so on to the book review, you guys. Yesterday I finished Deep in the Alaskan Woods by Harper. I was really, really anticipating this book. You guys know I've read Harper before. She is fantastic. She wrote a book called Shattered Secrets that came out years ago about a girl who was abducted when she was quite young, or a woman who was abducted when she was a little girl, and is now working with the police about this other little girl who was abducted. And it was seriously creepy and really, really good. And when I saw she had another romantic suspense, I'm like, yes. And it was set in Alaska. I'm like, these are just checking off all the boxes for me. I ended up giving this book 1.5 stars. I did finish it. I finished it. Yay me. Bernard's here to say hi. And yeah, I'm sorry. I did not like this book at all. There were just too many things that I just I couldn't get my head around. And it was just, I honestly, I put in my review on Goodreads, like, is this really the Harper that I've read before? Because it reads like a completely different author wrote it. I mean, I get everybody has a bad day, so perhaps this is just her bad day, bad book. There is supposed to be another one in the series after this. I did see that on Goodreads. I will be reading it, because this is more of a, it wasn't the writing style that I didn't like. It was the plot and it was the characters. So the writing itself, like, it wasn't badly written. It was just badly plotted. It was bad characters. So quick explanation of this book, because I did not want to sit here and rant on it, because that's what would have happened yesterday if I sat down. Because I finished it in the car on my way to pick up my husband, and I was actually going to just turn on the camera and stick it on my dashboard and just go to town. And I'm like, no, sit on it first and think about what you're going to say. So this is the story of a woman named Alex. At the very beginning of the book, she is engaged to this man whose name I cannot remember now. And he's a veterinarian. And I kind of had problems at the fact that they made the bad guy a veterinarian. Like, they're supposed to be them. I think somebody else said, because I was reading other reviews on Goodreads after I finished it, like yesterday afternoon, and a lot of other people absolutely agreed with what I'm about to say. That a veterinarian or a firefighter cannot be the bad guy. It just can't be a thing. So anyway, she's engaged to this guy. And at the first couple sentences of the book, they're all cuddled up together on the couch. He's been away with his friends, and they missed each other, and oh, isn't it just so lovely? And then in 0 to 60 seconds, he goes to complete evil person. Like, he gets all mad about the fact that she, over that weekend, went to her high school reunion and took a picture or talked to her ex-boyfriend who was there with his wife. It made no sense. You're coming into this book with this character being like, oh, it's so sweet, I'm so glad you're home, I've missed you so much, kissy kissy, to a page later, he's like losing his ever-loving mind and pushing her against a wall, and she has to kick him out and call the police, and all these things happen. So I just felt that we didn't get enough of the before to see how he was before, because a person doesn't generally do that. There's usually signs, I'm guessing. I've never been in an abusive type relationship. But I think that's the, you know, they don't just suddenly turn on a dime and become evil, or a horrible person. Like, there's signs. Like, does that make sense? You know, he's been protective before, or like she says it, like, oh, he's always been a little bit overprotective or something like that. Well, okay, like, show me, don't tell me. That's kind of my thing on that one. So she packs up her entire life and she heads off to Alaska to go visit with these cousins that she had, who are a set of twins. And this is the point in the book where every time this fact got mentioned, it literally was like someone took nails on a chalkboard. That I literally just like cringed when this plot point came up, to the point that every time I heard it, I nearly DNF'd it. I nearly did, but it was such a train wreck. I had to see it the whole way through. I did finish the book, you guys. So this is not a spoiler or anything at all like that. This is mentioned very, very early in the book, that the reason she stopped going to see her cousins, her twin cousins, is because she was having survivor's guilt. Because when her mother was pregnant with her, at the first ultrasound, they saw that she was a twin, like there were two babies. So the parents named both twins, Alex and Allison or something like that. I can't remember the sister's name or whatever, the other twin. And then for the next ultrasound, the other twin was gone. And they went on saying about this vanishing twin syndrome and blah, 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 and how rare it is, and it almost never happens. And okay, it's one thing to talk about it and be like, oh, you know, that's unfortunate, you know, like that your mom miscarried one of the babies. That's very sad, you know? But this woman, like, talks to her sister, sees her sister in the mirror, and feels her sister is there with her, and feels guilt because she's the one that survived and her sister didn't. It just seemed weird. So when I finished the book yesterday, one of the things I had to do was I had to look this up. I'm like, is this a thing? I don't see why it wouldn't be a thing. So I did some searching on it, and within 3 seconds on Google, I found out that this is a legitimate thing, and it does happen to actually 20 to 30% of multiple births. Okay, it's not a high percentage, but it's not completely out of the realm of possibility, the way the book made it sound. That, oh my God, this never happens, kind of an idea. Yeah, it does, to 20 to 30% of all multiple births. And the fact that she had survivor's guilt, and actually it talked about the fact she saw a psychiatrist about it, I just found it completely unbelievable. I'm sorry, completely unbelievable. I did not like the fact that also she arrives in Alaska, and of course there's going to be a romance there. She has just left this very abusive boyfriend, and she's already within a week hooking up with this other guy. That doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, I read till the end just because I couldn't put it down, and pretty much I wanted to know that the thought that I had on page 1 of the whodunit and what was about to happen was correct, and I was correct. So I called it on page 1. I was not happy. 1.5 stars. I'm sorry, guys. I always try on this channel to be very diplomatic and to let you guys know, you know, try it for yourself, see what you think. So, you know, if you want to, go for it. But just know going in that these were some of my issues with it. And, you know, judge for yourselves. I would never, you know, tell you guys to do something, but I will honestly say, if you decide to try it, don't do what I did and DNF it if you don't like it. Like, I continued on and wasted time. If you're not enjoying it, just DNF it. Don't do what Sarah did, essentially. I'm not saying not to try it. I'm just saying, if you don't like it, DNF it. So, that's all I got for today, you guys. I should be back tomorrow with a review of 2 books that I plan on getting finished. I just filmed my Friday read, so you guys will have seen that already. I already talked about that. And I've got Bernard here on the couch beside me. Let's see if I can, pardon me. Oh, there's my thumb. There's Bean. Bath time, Bean? It's bath time, Bean. Sorry about my thumb, you guys. Anyway, that's it for this clip. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi friends, happy Sunday. Boring background today, I do apologize. I just wanted to get this filmed really quick. Yes, I said it's Sunday and this is the final clip of the vlog. It is just 8 o'clock in the morning. I have had my shower, letting my hair air dry, and yeah, I stayed up a bit later last night. I only got up about a half an hour ago. Got up and showered and all that stuff, and I thought, let me sit down and get this recorded before I start my day. So I haven't even had coffee yet, so do bear that in mind when I'm talking to you guys right now. So I didn't get to bed till like after 11 last night because I was up reading. And it was too late for me to film the clip because everybody else in the house was asleep and I didn't want to, you know, make noise and stuff like that. So here I am now. I have 2 books to share with you. One I actually finished on Friday, and then one I finished yesterday. So on Friday, we'll start with that book. And then I do have a little bit of knitting to show you guys, but not much. But I do have the minis to open, which is exciting. So on Friday, I finished reading Head Over Paws by Debbie Burns, the 5th book in the Rescue Me series. This book was super cute. I think it ended up with 4 stars. It did end up with 4 stars. A really, really cute romance for 2 people who are just meeting each other. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me to remember their names. I think she was Olive or Olivia, and I think he was Gabe, and he's a vet, and she is they meet when she is rescuing dogs from this flooded area, and he ends up going down to rescue in taking them from this flooded area and bringing them to places to be adopted. And then they end up actually rescuing a dog from floodwaters together. And that dog plays a part in the story later on, and you actually get chapters from the dog's perspective. And at the beginning, it's heartbreaking, you know, from the perspective of the dog and what he's gone through because he wasn't treated very well and things like that. So yeah, I mean, this is such a great series. If you're a dog lover or an animal lover, you need to read this one. There is going to be another one I did see, I think it was on Instagram, that Debbie Burns said that she is working on Olivia's sister's book. Her name is Ava. And you do meet her in this book, so that will be great. I guess she said a lot of people were asking for Ava's story. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well. So yeah, like I said, 4 stars, really, really enjoyable. Great, great characters. You know, the animals are represented so well in this book, and there are sad parts, like parts that will tug at your heartstrings, and other parts that will make you laugh. And it's just overall a really great feel-good book, and I recommend this series wholeheartedly, and yeah, you definitely need to check it out. Then the book that I finished yesterday was Ain't He Precious by Juliette Poe, and this is, I think it's Sawyer Bennett writing as Juliette Poe, and I've read Sawyer Bennett before, and I like their work. I found them to be a little bit on the spicy side, and when my friend recommended this book to me, I didn't realize it was Sawyer Bennett. And when I saw that later, I thought, oh gosh, this is probably going to be really spicy. And the series title for this is Sex and Sweet Tea. So I thought, I don't know. But anyway, the reason I read this one, excuse me, is because for one of the final challenges for the Amazing Race Challenge was to read a book with a second chance romance. And this one has a second chance romance in it. And it's only 118 pages. This is just a novella. And I thought, perfect, I can get this read in a day for the challenge. That's great. And then I find out when I post it last night that guess what? The book has to be more than 150 pages to count for the challenge. So in a way, I read it for nothing, but I gave it 4.5 stars, you guys. It was so good. It was so, so good. So it's about Trixie and Ryland, and the 2 of them met in college at Boston College, or some college in Boston, and they were both going to be lawyers. And they had this, you know, relationship for 3 years in college, and they had plans that they were going to, they interned together at the same law firm, and then they were both going to get hired there and start their lives in Boston. And then something called Trixie back to her small town in South Carolina. So, you know, it's not like she just up and left one night, packed her bags, and took off in the night. They had long discussions, and she asked him to come with her, and he said, you know, like, this was his life here in Boston, so they ended up splitting up. And it's now been 11 years, and there is a case that Trixie is working on that she really wants his help. They haven't really spoken in 11 years. So she calls him up, and he agrees to come down and help her. And the story goes from there. Like I said, it's only 118 pages. I do not want to give anything more than that away. But this story actually surprised me because it was sweet. It was a sweet romance. There is some adult content. It's all fade to black, behind closed doors, however you want to put it. There is some mild swearing in here, But overall, this was a really delightful and sweet story. I really, really liked it. And I'm so, so glad that I read it. And all of the books are available on Kindle Unlimited and I believe Audible Escape. So if you have either of those services, you can go ahead and listen to them or read them. And I really, really like them, like this one, and I'm so looking forward to getting it to the next one in the series. So that's it for the books this week, you guys. I have no idea how long this vlog is going to be. I mean, I'm looking at this clip right now. It's only 5 minutes, so it's going to be a shorter vlog this week, but I guess that's okay. We shall see where next week takes us when I start working on Tuesday. So yeah, so I had, if you saw my Friday reads, or if you didn't see my Friday reads, I got a job. I am going to be a professional house cleaner, and I'm super excited about it, but I actually start on Tuesday, and I'm nervous, which I think you're nervous starting anything new. But yeah, so we shall see how that goes. I suspect a lot of downtime. I've seen my schedule already, and it's not full days. I think the only full day I have is Friday. Everything else is like a house or two in the morning, and then that's it. So I suspect some downtime, which will be nice, to kind of get back into the groove of actually getting up and going out and working. But I will, of course, report back and let you guys know what I'm thinking about it and all those things. So, yeah. But before I let you go, knitting. So, I only have one knitting project to show you guys, and that's the blanket. The socks that I was working on a couple weeks ago have been ripped out. I was not happy with them. Those needles that I was using, they're very, very cool, but they're really a pain in the butt to use. And my hands were starting to cramp up, and I just didn't like them. And along the side where the needles would join, I was having these big gaps in the yarn. So I ended up ripping the socks completely out, and I'm just going to go ahead and knit them my normal way. But I'm actually going to do a pattern sock when I cast them back on. I just haven't done that yet. So the other thing is that I am working on a secret project, and I cannot talk about it. I cannot show it to you guys because the recipient's going to see it, and I don't want them to see it, you know, before they actually get it, because it's a surprise. So I promise you, though, when it's completed, I will take a picture of it, and then once the recipient has received it, then I will show it to you guys here. I'll show the picture to you guys here, or maybe even I'll just film a little clip and I'll just put it in the back burner somewhere for whenever this person receives it. So, you know, yeah, because I want them to kind of see it first without being, you know, the surprise being ruined, essentially. So let me show you guys the blanket, because I didn't show you any of my knitting last week. I need to weave in some ends. I have a bunch of ends here to weave in. That's my project for this morning, or this afternoon. So I have two identical squares in this blanket. One here and one here. Mandy sent me a message and she said she realized she sent me two squares or two minis of the same yarn from when we were at two different festivals together. And I thought I had messed up because I thought that I had taken the leftovers and ended up adding it into the blanket. But that's okay. Hey, it's a scrap blanket. It doesn't have to be perfect. So the last square that I put in the last time you guys saw was right there. So I've added this one, which I think was a No Makers, this one, which was my Alice in Wonderland, this one, which no, I don't think that was it. Oh, that was the Night Owl Fibers, the Pumpkin Spice Latte. That's the duplicate square to the one that Mandy sent me over here. And then I've got this cool purple one. I've got a lot put in for the last couple weeks, guys. This one up here. I love this one, the colors in that one. Do you see it's kind of bumpy? That's because this one is one that was in a sock blank, because you can see how kinky the yarn is, so it had already kind of been knitted in a sock blank. We've got that one, which is very cool. That one, which is a pair of socks of mine, that is also Night Owl Fibers. That blue one, which I think is so pretty. This one over here, and then this purple one. So yeah, so added a lot in. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 squares in the last 2 weeks. So that's pretty good. Because last week I had 5. And then, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so I had 8 the week before that I added in. 5 this last week. So, and now I'm going to have another 6 to add in. Because we are getting super close to the end of this row, you guys. Check it out. So I need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 more to finish this row off. And then I'll start the next row, which is super exciting because I think I started this row at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I'm really, really loving doing this. And, you know, I'm getting so much knit on this awesome blanket. So yeah, so let's open the minis. Again, for those of you who are new, I'm sorry if I say this every time. For those of you who have been here for a while, but I am knitting a square to the blanket for every single book that I read, and I have these great little envelopes that I made up with the book titles on them, and then I just open it up, and that's the next mini I add to my blanket, or the next group of minis I add to my blanket, and there's no rhyme or reason to the minis in here. They don't match book covers or anything like that. I literally just blindly put minis in envelopes and wrote on them, or I wrote on them first and then I put the minis in them, but it's all a surprise to me. So we're gonna do this slowly, or we're gonna do this, I don't know if I can do this by how I read them. Bear with me just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I missing one? Oh, I left it over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there should be 6. I will be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. It was literally over on the side of the couch here. I just put it over there. So, here we go. So the first one was the Duchess deal by Tessa that I finished this week. Loved this one. Although when I turned the camera on, it gave me a chance to get all these organized. Here we are. Why does this one look so familiar? Hold on. Am I going to be adding an identical? I am too. We're going to have 2 more matching squares in the blanket. Again, that's perfectly okay, and I'm fine with it. But clearly I'm into one where somebody's been giving me matching minis, so that's okay. That's okay. So that's that one. And this is what it's going to look like knit up. I love it. I need all the minis. It doesn't matter to me. Then I read Deadly Doubles by Carolyn Keene from the Nancy Drew Case File series. I think I gave this one 3.5 stars. Ooh, pretty. A nice lilac. That's lovely. And then we have Family for Beginners by Sarah Morgan, which I gave 4 stars to, I think. 4, 4.5, I cannot remember. You will have seen the clip earlier. So yeah, for that. Ooh, one of the ones that Lynn did up because of the way it's all wound up, which I love. And I think underneath here it will tell me what it is, but I'm pretty sure this is Night Owl Fibers. And I think this is, I don't know what, rusted something or other. I think it's really, really pretty. So yeah, so that one will be great. And then we have Deep in the Alaskan Woods, which was a garbage book. It came in at 1.5 stars. You guys, I'm sure, saw my rant clip on that one. Let's hope the yarn is better than the book. I'm sure it is. Ooh, the yarn does make up for the book. Yay. Another one from a sock yarn blanket, because you can see how kinky the yarn is. But isn't that pretty? Oh, yellows and teals. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then we have Head Over Paws, which I just talked about. Really enjoyed. Great book if you love dogs. You need to check it out. Please, please do if you haven't. Ooh, very pretty. Look at that. Do you know what it reminds me of? Is a hamburger. So you got like the mustard and the ketchup and the relish and the burger itself, or this could even be the bun. Like, do you not get those vibes when you look at this? It's pretty awesome, right? That one's going to be fun. Perfect for a dog because they keep talking about going through the drive-thru and getting the dog a burger. I'm like, I like it. And then Ain't He Precious, which I did not read Alaskan Dreams, which I had planned to, but that's okay. It'll get rid eventually. But I put Ain't He Precious on here instead. That's what happens. Like I said, my TBR is never set in stone. And this one is already wound up. I don't know if I've used it or not, if somebody just gave it to me that way. But it is grays and blues. Very pretty. I really like that one. So yeah, so there's the 6 that are going to go back into the blanket this week. I might push this first one in last. Like I might end up putting it in last so there's a little bit of space between them. But I'm really not upset about it. I don't care. There are going to... I need 1,600 squares in this blanket. Colors are going to match no matter how hard I try, you know? So it really doesn't bother me, and I think that just adds to the fun of the blanket and the fact that it is, in fact, homemade. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so... This blanket just makes me so happy. So I will talk to you guys all in my next video. Coming up this week, I have an announcement video about Summer Romance Book Bingo. That's all I'm going to say. I think that's going to come out on Thursday, though. So things are changing a little bit. So for those of you who are looking forward to Summer Romance Book Bingo, please do watch that. Don't worry, it's not going away. Really, sort of not really. It's just changing. So stay tuned for this. So sorry for the teaser on that one, you guys. And then, of course, on Tuesday is going to be my wrap-up for the month. My wrap-up and stats for the month. So yeah, I will talk to you guys all in my next video. Until then, take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.